Hi, welcome and thank you for joining me tonight. You made it. Tonight is Get Up and Go, that's the healing, and it is on motivation and enthusiasm. And I wore my bling tonight as my fashion nod to our topic of enthusiasm tonight, so I thought you'd like that. And I'm going to get started. But before I do, I wanted to tell you kind of how I'm going to do this tonight. I'm breaking down Get Up and Go into the get up part and then the go part. So the get up part is motivation and the go part is enthusiasm. So the first part that I'm going to work on is the motivation. And I'm going to set the energy right now with a prayer, and then I'll get going. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity, that it shine its countenance upon us and bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. Okay, I'm going to be working on a composite of everybody in the sanctuary tonight. And this first healing I'm going to begin on is motivation. First thing I'm doing is grounding you. Oh, and you know, as I get started, this is a message to Jessica. Would you work on spiders and snakes, please? I notice that there's a lot of that energy, and it has to do with controlling enthusiasm. So that's going to get worked on tonight. Thank you, Jessica. All right. Oh, you know, I should probably tell you, for those of you that don't know who Jessica is, it just occurred to me. Jessica controls the sessions for me. Both she and Christy are behind the scenes controlling. So that's why I was passing that message on to Jessica. Forgive me for that. All right, the first energy that I'm seeing that has to do with inhibiting your motivation is the energy of punishment. And there's a lot of it. What I notice about healers is, as a group, healers don't recognize oftentimes when they're being punished, because that's a really good game to get a healer to keep healing, as you keep punishing them and they'll keep coming back and say, what more can I do for you? Don't get mad at me. What else can I do for you? So that's a big game with healers. And so that really has an effect on your motivation. And I'm going to start clearing that punishment now. It's a white, thick energy. And so much of this energy comes from your jobs. When you go to work, there's just all kinds of punishment. And, you know, when I talk about punishment, even going to an environment where you're expected to turn down your crown chakra and really turn down your energy to match where the company energy is set, that can be punishing in itself. It might not be intended to be a punishment, but it can wind up being a punishment, particularly if you're a spirit in a female body that requires a higher energy vibration. Then the next layer, that was cool because that energy came out. And then the next layer is a streak of black, and it's just plain old stop. Just stop. Don't do another thing. Don't take another step. Just stop. And this black energy is tied to beings, like low-level beings. I'm going to work on backing those off and clearing that black energy. You know, there's so much competition to not be successful, to remain at a low level, and that's really what's coming out, is all the competition. there's a lot of being activity going on. I was just trying to think of a way. I was like, boy, there's a lot of beings. So there's a little bit of a conflict going on trying to get them out of your space. So just give me a minute here. Okay, I've got the being moving. Gonna work on the black. I'm getting there. Yeah, that black energy is in the back channels, your back channel. So that's where I'm working right now. And there's a lot of pain back there from being told, no, you can't do something over and over. And a lot of that goes back to the terrible twos. And actually, there's quite a lot of no energy going much farther back than this lifetime. So I'm clearing what I can see of that. The thing that I see about your motivation is that most everybody really wants to be motivated to have some fun. Everybody's really lacking in the fun department. So that's what I see. So there's a lot of colorful energy coming into the motivation right now. And I'm clearing a lot of, I'll just call it pandemic energy that has really affected your motivation. That's a very thick pearl colored energy. And a lot of that is up high, like um, the chest and above, kind of like a blanket around the head. And then I also see that the energy in your earth channels, your leg channels, is not flowing all that well. I'm going to clean those out. That has to do with your motivation. That's so sweet. Some of you are, I can see pictures of you in childhood getting to do activities that you were really, really excited about and motivated to do, like little things like learning how to ride your trike. Those are the kinds of pictures that I'm seeing right now. Everybody's saying hello to their enthusiasm and motivation from childhood. And that is a really rich yellow gold color. There's some more invalidation coming out of the motivation space, and like a history of being told, not just no, but being judged for what you've tried to create, and that's coming out. So if you're harshly judged for something you're trying to create, that's definitely going to eat into your motivation the next time around. So if you are judged over and over and over, then that starts to create a setup where you lose that enthusiasm to be motivated. Right now, I'm working on a layer of energy I'm being shown in the aura. It looks like it's in the 7th layer of the aura, and it's kind of thick. It's about 3 or 4 inches thick. And I'm being shown that that energy is affecting next steps. That has to do with fear of the future. So, if you're in fear of the future, what I would say to you is that you're not creating in present time. The only reason you would be afraid of the future is if you have not done your mock-ups and set the energy for what you want. So I'm clearing that fear. This is a nice release. There's a lot of fear coming out. It kind of looks like a bank of water, just waterfall. And this is good because as that fear gets grounded, there's so much of your energy that's out in future time trying to figure things out or solve problems or solve things that you think are problems or that might be problems in future time. So I'm going to be pulling you back into present time as that fear comes out. Okay, that motivation space has turned to a little bit more of a light orange gold. It's open, it's full, full of gold. And I'm going to fill that space in and move on to your enthusiasm. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to do with your motivation. Pardon me. I'm going to run your motivation through your calendar, and we're going to run that through January of 2022. And the reason I'm going to do that is I really wanted to help you set the energy through the end of the year with motivation. And when we look to ground a space, we always want to ground a little bit farther so that you're not just grounding and then boom, everything falls apart. So if we want to ground through to the end of the year, we're really going to ground through to January so that then you have January to reset the energy for the new year. And I'll be planning on a class to help everybody reset the energy for 2022. So tonight we're going to set the energy through to January for your motivation. There is a lot of stuff that's already pre-programmed on your timeline. And a lot of it has to do with effort and work. And when I say work, I don't mean like your job work. I mean like that there's programmed effort and work into whatever it is that you're trying to create. So this is great because the motivation is starting to clean that out and open up your calendar. It's interesting because motivation picks up around the end of November and it gets going in December with the holidays. But in October, the motivation is really low. So I'm kind of cleaning that and then January out. Everything else, November and December have nice energy in them. Okay, that looks good. It wound up looking very opalescent when I was finished filling in the calendar. So that's grounded through January, the end of January. And like I said, as it gets closer to the new year, there'll be an opportunity to help reset the energy for 2022 in a class. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is fill that in with gold and move to your vibration of enthusiasm. And when I look at your enthusiasm, the first energy that I notice that affects it is people's anger at you for having a lot of enthusiasm. Pardon me. My phone just did something really strange. Sorry about that. You know, again, this is energy in the channels that is affecting your enthusiasm, the anger that gets directed at you, which really is other people's competition. But it's the anger that you're so sensitive to. And when I say anger, you know, when you create something really great and people around you get jealous or competitive, that's the energy that I'm looking at right now. That's the energy that kills your enthusiasm. Then there's a lot of white energy in your enthusiasm vibration, and this also coincides with white energy on your crown chakra. And this is what I would call a transmedium control energy to try to keep the vibration of your crown chakra low and in a vibration that can't get to enthusiasm. And the reason why is because there aren't very many beings that can vibrate at enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is really one of our highest energy vibrations that we can actually create in the body. So there aren't a lot of beings that can have that. We may be the only ones. And out of all humans, not every human really can have that vibration. You have to work your energy to be able to enjoy that vibration and maintain it. And so not everybody can have enthusiasm. There are there's a lot of energy coming out about what's the point? Things are never going to change. Things will only get destroyed down the road. So all of that negative dialogue is coming out. I'm watching so many different ways to say no come out of your space, like just no. And so it's watching layers and layers of stop energy come out, and that comes out as browns, grays, white, some more black. The vibration of enthusiasm is coming up to a really pretty apricot gold. Very nice. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that gold and I'm going to run it through a couple of different spaces so that we fill up some spaces with your enthusiasm. And the first space I'm going to work that with is your body wellness space. So we're going to run that beautiful apricot gold through your body wellness space. There's a beautiful vibration of, I guess you would call it being at one with oneself that's being created in your body wellness space right now. And it's a very, it's kind of like looking at a translucent pink diamonds type of vibration. There's a lot of energy coming out and I can hear it, and it's saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. And it has to do with the body and exercising and food. Very, very heavy, thick brown energy coming out of the body wellness space. And it's just like slow moving energy. I think this is going to feel fantastic to get this out of the body. It's going to lighten you up. That's good. I'm glad that cleared, and I'm really glad to see that go. Goodbye. That was very thick and heavy. Okay. I'm going to fill that space in with a gold sun. All right. And then I have another space. And this is more like the space of body exercise that we're going to run enthusiasm through. The other one was body wellness. This is body exercise, movement, body movement. There's what's getting cleaned out is energy that causes you to not know your body. That's what I'm seeing coming out is energy that gets between you and your body being communication and your ability to understand your body. So that's coming out. So there's not a lot of there. I can relate to this. there's places where there's not a lot of enthusiasm for exercise, so I can understand that. So I'm helping you clean that energy out that prevents the enthusiasm for that. And you know, your body really wants you to exercise it. The energy that makes you not want to exercise has the energy of other beings, like lower beings and also low vibrations that want to keep, they want to stay in your space. So they want to keep the energy of your body low. What's great though is when you run a high vibration like enthusiasm through your body, a lot of beings can't stay in the body when you do that. So this is kind of like a nice way to blast some beings out of your space. You know, what really enjoyed that healing was your heart. Really liked getting enthusiasm run through it. So note to self, that's something that you might want to do on your own in your own meditations. It's like your heart just soaked up all of that gold energy. All right. And then the last space that I want to run your enthusiasm through is self-love. you have a very sweet space for self-love. And what I see is that there's a complete understanding of it at birth. And then there's a lot of energy throughout the years that comes from other people and their pictures of what love is or what self-love is that get in the way of you being able to have your own information on it. So the enthusiasm is going to clean this space out for you. What I'm noticing is, and I asked Spring Being to work with you, is that as you look for self-love, in a lot of spaces, there needs to be some forgiveness, some self-forgiveness to get to the self-love. So Supreme Being is working on a forgiveness healing right now. What I'm seeing is that one or the other parent oftentimes has a picture about you, the child, that doesn't have anything to do with you really and where you are on your path, what you're trying to do. And it's a picture that sits like as a judgment of you. And I'm looking at all of you, and there seems to be one or the other parent where there's a picture that sticks in your space where you're very self-conscious about who you are in relationship to that parent. And so you're super sensitive to whatever their thoughts or beliefs are or pictures are about you, to the point where it inhibits you from running your enthusiasm the way that you would normally run it. So I'm going to, and the way that I see it is a red pain picture, just to tell you like how I'm seeing it. So I'm going to work on that right now. Okay, it's really interesting because, you know, as children, our parents, when we're young, encourage our enthusiasm. But then what I see is that, you know, as adults can only, most adults can only handle so much enthusiasm in their own body. And so there are limits that start to be put on other people who have a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Okay, now I'm seeing that self-love run through your space. It's a tangerine color. It's very vivid. It's like, oh, it's like the color of tangerine juice. If you've ever bought tangerine juice, it's a very distinct color. And so I'm going to run some of that in your crown, that enthusiasm in your crown. All right. I'm going to fill in your self-love space. And that actually it kind of ended up in a very, like a calm blue with a light yellow gold. Okay, I'm going to gather up your energy now and fill you in. All right. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this healing for your motivation and enthusiasm be complete. Amen. Good job. All right. I have a couple of announcements. I have a new month coming up, and so I wanted to tell you some of what's going to be coming up in October. Oh, let me go to my, here we go. All right. In October, I'm very excited. I have a class coming up for women's intuition, and it's called Running Energy. And if you've taken any of my classes before, I've been talking about it. Running Energy is a part of meditating when you're doing energy work, and it's a way to keep the energy flowing through your channels and flowing through your chakras to keep you spiritually healthy. So it's a really important technique to learn, and I'm going to be teaching that on October 14th. It's a Thursday night, and it's open to all spirits in female bodies. So that's coming up. And the first thing in October is going to be a 20-minute meditation, and it's on inspiration and childlike wonder, which are two of my favorite energy vibrations. So that's coming up. And then we have an event that I wanted to talk to you about, and this is the Erasure Event. Now, we did one once before, so if you attended, you know what they're like. This is where I invite my transmedium healers. They are the best of my healers and graduates, and they come and they work on spider and snake energy for the event, which is a half-hour event. And what I do is have them do the erasures and completely wipe out those beings, and I'll read to you what I see going on while they're doing the erasures. So it's a pretty cool event. We did it once before. Everybody loved it. It just rocks. You come, you sit in that event, and the beings just fly out of your space. So it's wonderful clearing, and I want to invite all of you to it. It is a free event, so there's no excuse not to show up. So that's coming up too. And let me see if I can find in October my my monthly special is giving and receiving. So I'm going to be cleaning out the dichotomy of being able to give and receive, which I think is important for healers, because all of us healers have a tendency to be more on the end of the giving side of that dichotomy. And so it's going to be very important for me to get back into balance for you, make sure that you have an open receiving side as well. So that's my monthly special next month. And of course, there are healings coming up in the sanctuary, and my mailer will be coming out right before the first week of October. So I wanted to tell you all of that. And the next thing coming up is going to be the 20-minute meditation on childlike wonder. So I look forward to seeing you in the sanctuary for that. And I've got my eyes on you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.